Hello there, people of the internet. So I just wanted to make this quick little video to let you guys know. Yes, I'm like 90% sure that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is imminent. Like, it's going to be announced tomorrow. At least I hope so. Now, I have been no stranger to being disappointed by the lack of inevitable news. I've been waiting for announcement of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for like a year now, and it's been pretty sobering waiting for that, you know, with the constant like teases and promises and thoughts after Future Connected came out too. We've just kind of been sitting on dormant, you know, news, a lack thereof news rather, but the stars are all aligning. The world is all coming together, and Xenoblade fans are clenching their jaws in anticipation over an inevitable announcement of a game. But before we get into anything, of course, if you've been living under a rock, Nintendo Direct was announced for tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am turning off all my social medias, and I am not going to be engaging in any conversation until after I get home from work that day. Once I get home from work that day, I'm going to sit down, watch that Nintendo Direct, and then hopefully I don't get spoiled on anything, though knowing how the internet works and how a lot of these things work, I will probably get spoiled on something. Because YouTubers like to leave everything in thumbnails, and if you're not the first to the news, then you lose out on the surprise. But if I can somehow dodge all the surprises and get thrown into a big Xenoblade 3 announcement, I'll definitely be grateful for that. But why do I think Xenoblade 3 is inevitable? Zach, you said this like 8 months ago and it didn't happen. I know, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But now the stars are aligning. Again, there's a lot of really like fortuitous timing of these things happening at once. So we're going to jump into first. Last month, the main composer for the Xenoblade series, Yasunori Mitsuda, had come out and said that a project he was working on, a big project, was going to be announced in February, or at least if everything worked out, he hoped so. Now, Mitsuda has had a history working on a lot of different games, but you know, just even a quick look at his resume on the internet, if you're not familiar with him, really the only like active franchise he has worked on in the last decade or so has been Xenoblade. Sure, he has a lot of other games on his radar here on his resume, but unless they're announcing a new Chrono Trigger or a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising, which honestly I would kind of be down for too, it seems like the next Xenoblade game score has been finished and it's gonna be announced soon. So that's a big one. Okay, but you know, anyone can announce anything. Just because a composer that works on video games says a project's coming out doesn't mean the game is going to be announced, right? Of course, yeah, that's obvious. But now we have this announcement of Nintendo Direct. When he said specifically this project will be announced in February, I feel like there's not any other better time frame for a Nintendo composer to have a Nintendo game announced in the month that he specified, other than with this here. So that's sign number one, right? Sign number two, if you have seen any news updates recently, Monolith Soft has updated their website pretty significantly. A big new redesign that kind of just is a blank canvas. They've deleted a lot of their posts, pretty much all except for, I believe, 4, pretty much everything from 2017 to 2022, which was the entire Xenoblade 2 kind of arc of time period, which means they're wiping themselves clean and they're going to start anew. And anytime any company or entity or band, video game developer, anything like that wipes their website or social media or template, it usually means they're getting ready to fill it up with something else. So Xenoblade news on the Monolith Soft website, inevitable. We're expecting it. Now, with all that said, what do I think is going to be announced if they announce Xenoblade 3? I am still a very, 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 very vocal advocate for the idea that Xenoblade 3 will be taking place in the far future of the first game. It will be placed in the same world. We may have similar recurring characters that existed in the past, but I think that this game is going to be the first direct sequel and continuation of an entry in the series. I think we're going to maybe see a far future where Melia is kind of like a ruler of, this new High-Entia race, or there's going to be, some sort of conflict between different warring factions that was kind of brewing in the Future Connected epilogue, if you guys remember. That was kind of like one of the points that they touched upon very briefly between the Machina and the High-Entia, kind of getting into this, almost weird social friction. I could definitely see them building upon that and making it kind of a focal point of the story going forward. Just anything like that, I could definitely see brewing in a Xenoblade story. But I think for sure it's going to tie into, this is going to be the most direct sequel of any Xenoblade game, right? Like when we saw Xenoblade 2, it really was only Xenoblade in like name and idea. It wasn't like connected to the original game until you got to the end and they started, piecing the things together of there being alternate universes pretty much. This game, when we get it announced, will definitely be something closer in vision to what the first one was. I don't think they would have released Future Connected otherwise. And I also believe that this will be the game that will bridge the kind of stories of Xenoblade 1 and 2 together in a more cohesive way. I'm not saying we're going to see, Rex and Shulk jump into a portal and shake hands, though I hope they don't do that. That would be so corny. But in any case, I doubt that's going to be what's going to happen. But I think the story itself is going to really focus on merging these two worlds, these two universes together, and kind of, bringing them to life in a different way. All I know for certain, though, is that whatever comes out for Xenoblade 3, Xenoblade fans will be so mad. Right? And it's gonna either be the Xenoblade 2 fans are mad because it's too close to 1, the Xenoblade 1 fans are mad because it's not the same thing as 1, or all of the Xenoblade fans are gonna be mad because it's not the same thing that they all wanted. And maybe this will finally be the game that brings us all together for a mutual distaste of what the third entry came to be. But I'm of course I'm joking. I'm very excited for it. I really want a game that has a lot of personal, intimate storytelling like this one did, and I'm very hopeful, I should say, that the team at Monolith Soft really honed in on their storytelling and made it more concise, because I'll always say this, right? Sure, I clowned on Xenoblade 2 a lot. I made fun of it. I don't ever want to go back to that game, and there's a lot of problems I had with it overall, but it had promise. The what is in the package of Xenoblade 2, there is really the structure of a good story, of a good world, of an interesting, just setting and characters, but it's fumbled in its delivery. It's fumbled in how it is presented, and it seems like they really dropped the ball on how they wanted to present the story. And I mean, as long as this game, in my opinion, can hone in on that and make it at least one way or the other more cohesive, I wouldn't mind a goofy ass weird story. I wouldn't mind a story that's ultra serious and super anime shonen. I wouldn't mind either one, but I just want consistency. In any case, yeah. Thanks for watching. I am turning off my social medias. I'm gonna go back to playing Pokemon Legends Arceus because that's all I've been doing. I almost got Arceus, guys. I caught 235 Pokemon. I got 5 left to go. Okay, yeah. In any case, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening.